What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we are going through a fragrance haul. This is some stuff that I bought during the Canada Day sale. I just haven't gotten around to doing the video, and we have one of the newest releases from Issey Miyake Leau. I haven't looked at the notes. I would assume it's on the fresher side of things. I finally got around to grabbing Boss de Scent Le Parfum. I'd always been skeptical because I have the Parfum edition, the old version, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be extremely similar. I did try Birds of Paradise recently, fell in love with it, and had to grab a bottle, so we have that one. And then part of their doorbusters, they had, it was like 34 bucks for a cap 4.2 ounce tester of Polo Red EDT, the original, which I have a very sizable, like 15 ml decant. I don't really reach for it much, but I was like, what the hell, for $34? Let me add to my Polo Red collection. So we'll save that for last because I'm quite familiar with it, you know, as well as Birds of Paradise. Since I'm familiar with both of those, we'll save them for last. But I've actually never smelled Boss de Scent Le Parfum. I've always gone under assumption, and then this is a new release, so we'll start with that one. So again, I did buy these from Fragrance Buy. There's links down below if you want to check them out. But let's dive into this. Stay tuned. So naturally, I'm starting with the new release first. We're going with Issey Miyake Leau. It's a new release and it's already cheap. It was like 50 bucks for the 100 ml. 50 ml was 40 or something. I like the new bottle design. Cylinder style. Nice and hefty, thick base glass. Yeah, cheap plastic. Atomizer's a little wonky. So there's corners that were cut. It's nothing special. Good atomizer though. See what we're working with. I'm going to assume citruses, greens, maybe musks. I'm not expecting super unique here, but you never know. It's an assumption. I've never looked at the notes. I just know it's a new release, and I love Issey Miyake, so I figured, what the hell. Citrusy green. Doesn't smell like they reinvented the wheel here. Very, very watery fresh. Like a fresh water accord of some sort. With a... not muted citrus, that's not what I'm looking for. It's not like rindy. There's no bitter nature to it. It's not zesty. It's just a smooth, watery, juicy citrus smell with a bit of green that doesn't come across as really all that spicy, but something in the realm of like a tarragon, like a cut grass kind of smell. So green without spice. Perhaps a little bit of a woody nuance of sorts, like maybe a cedar wood. Again, nothing super unique, but it smells nice. I don't think it's special. I think it's going to be redundant in most people's collections because it's familiar, but I can't pinpoint, oh, this smells like this, but it does come across as a familiar DNA. Quality's decent. It's a solid fragrance. I tell you right now, it's going to be a above average rating, but it's not going to be a really high rating, but not a really low rating either. This is a solid fragrance. It's just not special for a larger collection. It's a passable fragrance. I'll tell you guys right now, it is. If you have more than 15 or 20 fragrances, this might be a passable fragrance for you unless you're just a fan of the brand, which I am. That's why I wanted to pick it up. It is nice. It kind of gives me a little bit of a sporty feel to it. Let's pull these notes up.
A few minutes later.
So, Le Sel d'Issey. Not good. 5.3 out of 10 on 6 ratings. So people are hitting it middle of the road. There's some disappointment here. So aquatic, citrus, fresh, woody, spicy. I don't really get much spice. So seeing these notes, I'm a little surprised here. So it's ginger and salt, vetiver and kelp, cedarwood and oak moss. So cedarwood and oak moss makes sense. Vetiver makes sense. Salt, not super salty, but okay. But ginger is the one that kind of surprises me. I don't get crisp. I don't get spicy. I don't get creamy. I don't get any of the typical ginger type nuance from the variety of ginger oils I've smelled. Kelp and salt makes sense because it is getting a little bit more of a salty smell. It was more of a fresh water in the opening. They don't list citrus. The second ranked accord is citrus, but there is like this, not really bergamot, almost like a lemon type smell to the citrus. That they don't list anything, but I get like a lemony type of smell that's not a sharp lemon. It's a smooth, My mouth waters every time I smell it. So I got to give that, it's a mouth-watering citrus, a little salty, quite aquatic and fresh. Green, sure, cedarwood, that made sense. I even said it was probably a cedarwood note. It kind of smelled like it would be. I'm not rating it as low as they are. I don't think it's a just basic-ass fragrance like this, but it is not special. They definitely could have did better. I think it's better than good at a 6.5 out of 10. It's for the, you know, what it is. The quality here is decent. It's very affordable. Right out the gate, it just released. I'm sure it's going to be an average performer. Based on previous experience with them, it's usually like middle of the road, I would say, with something fresh like this around 5 or 6 hours. That's probably going to be the story here. Again, this is an assumption. The green's coming out more and more. It is nice. It is nice. That's why I think it's better than good. They rated, in my rating system, a 5.3, which let's round it up to a 5.5, would be good. Just average fragrance, 5 and 5.5. I think it's a little bit better than average. That's why I give it a 6.5 out of 10. But again, passable for a lot of people. It's not special, but it is solid. All right, let's check out Boss the Scent Le Parfum, the Iris version, which I have the previous rendition. So I don't know. I just grabbed the 50 ml because I don't need anything beyond the 50 ml. I pretty much grab exclusively 50 mls of this fragrance at this point. The reason I never got it before is because I have this one. This is the old Parfum edition. It's Boss the Scent plus Orris, and the Orris fades fast. Now, don't recall if it's the exact same note breakdown, but it's the same premise, so I fear they're the same fragrance. And I might now have 150 ml, and I hardly ever wear this one. It smells great. I just hardly ever, I mean, it's been years since I've worn this, honestly. The bottle's great, though. Matte black finish. So we're going to see. Nice spray and a half. We'll give that a second. Kind of wave off some of this alcohol. It strikes me as a little bit spicier than this one. What the hell? If we're going to compare it, let's compare it, right? Let's see if it is indeed the same fragrance. Because I've always assumed it was. Could be wrong. Might be minor differences, but I don't think it'll be a big difference. This is much more iris forward, so it is not the exact same. This is a little bit more spice going for it. This is definitely more orris butter forward. Very much hits you fresh powdered iris in the top. I don't get a lot of it right away. I get a nice hit of spice here. It's powdery. It's more of an earthy floral than a fresh floral. This is fresher. This is a little bit more earthy and spicy. So not the same. Redundant, sure. Same line, same DNA. A lot of the same notes and accords work together, but not the same fragrance like I always kind of assumed. Honestly, this one's a little bit better. I like the added spice to it. It's pretty good. I'm not going to say I've been missing out, but I guess I kind of have been, because I do love the Boss the Scent line. Two of my favorite designers released in the last 2 years have been the last two flankers, the Scent Elixir and the Scent Magnetic. They are phenomenal. It's getting a bit more powdery for sure. The iris is coming through more. Not the same though. There's more of a creamy freshness to the Parfum edition. There's more of a slight earth spiced floral tone to this. I still clearly smell the Maninka fruit, a little on the leathery side. Let's pull up the notes.
12 seconds later.
Okay, the Scent Le Parfum, 7.7 out of 10 with 111 ratings. So people seem to like this one on Parfum. Woody, sweet, fruity, spicy, leathery. Citrus notes and ginger. There's your spice. This is a clearer spice than the Issey fragrance. Maninka fruit, iris, patchouli, lavender, precious woods, and leather. So that is that darker element that I get. I do get the spice. I do get a little bit more leather out of this one versus the Parfum edition. I do get leather out of this also, but it's more prevalent here. Like way more. Like probably the most leather forward of the bunch, even more so than Private Accord, which has a nice leathery facet to it. This is the most leather forward. The more it settles, the more I feel like I actually have been missing out. This is one of the better ones in the line. Like I actually think this is better than Private Accord. And Absolute. This might be like my number 3. Behind Magnetic and the Scent Elixir. Kind of have been missing out. I've been sleeping on it. I'm snoozing. I've been sleeping on it. It is good. I'm not mad that I waited though, because I got it pretty cheap. I paid like 50 bucks, 40 something bucks, 50 bucks for the 50 ml, which I'm good with. I'll never go through the bottle completely. I'm happy to have it. Glad I waited. Better late than never, right? With that, I'm going to rate it an 8.5 out of 10. This is great. I don't think it's better than Magnetic and Elixir, but it gets close. I do think, which is kind of hard to say, because Absolute and Private Accord are just so good as well, that it's better than those. I mean, those five, all five. Man, you could pick, you could say any one of those five is the best Boss the Scent. I'm not going to argue with you, because it's really a toss-up between Private Accord, Absolute, Le Parfum, Elixir, and Magnetic. They are all so good. Hugo Boss, they really have done well by this line. I've heard Pure Accord's not that great. That's the only one I've never tried. I don't own the Intense. I wish I would have grabbed it. I've smelled it in the past. Only one I haven't smelled is Pure Accord, and that's supposedly the letdown of the line. But Le Parfum, it's great. 8.5 out of 10. With that said, let's slide right on into Carolina Herrera's CH Men Birds of Paradise. I can't wait to see this bottle. So this has a tropical banana smoothie-like kind of feel to it. It's strange. The notes don't dictate that's what it's supposed to smell like, but I kind of get this odd banana smoothie kind of thing going. I love the bottle. Birds of Paradise. Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. The CH Men bottles are always kind of cool looking. You know, I have CH Passion right over here. Beautiful iris leather. If you've never tried this and you like iris, you're missing out. I'm telling you. Carolina Herrera has been like my rediscovered love of the year for 2024. So let's give this one a spray. Atomizer is lined up. Let's go right on the lion's face with a spray and a half. Kind of drenched. We got to give that a second. It's got the tropical feel. It does, without being an aquatic, without being some tropical fruit dominant, you know, just fruity drink by the beach at a tiki bar kind of thing, which is typically going to be the tropical stuff. You're either going to get super fruity or very much aquatic or sunscreen. It's going to be one of those three or a blend of the three some kind of way. Here I do get like this banana leaf kind of thing going, smooth, creamy. That's why I say banana smoothie, as weird as that sounds. A little bit of a fruity nuance. There's like a warm wood smell to it, a little hint of powder, while still having that creamy smoothie-like tone to it. It's unique. I don't have another fragrance that smells like CH Men Birds of Paradise. I'm glad to have this one. I forgot what I rated it. I want to say I gave it an 8 or an 8.5. Here in the moment, I'm thinking every bit of 8 out of 10. I think 8 out of 10 is a great rating for a great fragrance, but let's pull up these notes.
More moments later.
6.8 out of 10 on 2 ratings, so not everybody feels the way I do. Top notes of chamomile and violet leaf. We've got driftwood, spruce balsam, cashmere wood, sandalwood, tonka bean, so plenty of woods. Think of that woody nuance. And maybe the spruce chamomile combos, what gives me kind of that banana leaf, banana smoothie with the creamy sandalwood and the tonka bean. I don't know what does it, but that's how it comes across to me. It's an odd fragrance, but in a good way, in a very good way. I think this is quite nice. This is a really good release from them for the year. I don't think it's a necessarily top 10 release of the year. I'll reevaluate at the end of the year for top 10 designers of the year that were released. There's been a lot of stuff that's come out, a lot of worthy adversaries to this fragrance, but I don't know. It's got this quirky nature to it that is kind of an oddball. You know, it's the dodo bird of the releases, you know. Clever play on it since there's Birds of Paradise, you know. I dig it. I think it's an 8 out of 10 fragrance. I think it is not a safe blind buy. I'm glad I was able to sample it first. Shout out to Juan Fatboy Fragrance, who had sent me a decant. I ended up really liking this one. So try before you buy. Not a safe blind buy, but to me, Birds of Paradise, 8 out of 10. And last but not least, a Ralph Lauren Modern Classic Polo Red EDT 4.2 ounce tester, the older style bottle. I'm sure that's why I was able to get it so cheap. They're clearing out the older stock, which I'm cool with. I've been meaning to get it for a long time. I'm not really going to wear it all that much. I'm going to be honest with you. When I get in the mood for Polo Red, I go with the Eau de Parfum. It's my favorite. But I do have the Intense. I do have the Parfum. I don't have the Extreme. I don't have Red Rush. I've tried Red Rush. I don't have Red Remix. I have a sizable decant of this, large sealed decant. But we're going to go ahead and give it a little spritz. Atomizers lined up. So what I remember about this is fruity and powdery. Because this is obviously a newer batch. I have a very old batch that's very powdery in the decant that was sent to me. I don't know if this is going to smell exactly the same or not, but it's got that cranberry fruity kind of sweetness with some powder, is what I remember about it. This is a bit soapier. I get those similar nuances I just spoke of, but a little bit of soapy nuance going here. Like it's, I say a little bit, I would say it's kind of like moderately soapy. Soapy, fruity, sweet, and powdery. Very youthful, very playful, very Ralph Lauren Polo. This is a nice semi-casual to casual daytime wear fragrance, modern sweet designer kind of stuff. Great young man's fragrance. This is a great fragrance for a young man to get with because this will pull some compliments. It's very attractive. I'm sure young ladies would love to smell this on a young man. I'm confident in that. You got to be okay with a powdery nuance, though. Not all the young fellas like the powdery fragrances. This definitely has a powdery nuance to it. It's nice. It's not special, but it is iconic in many ways. Maybe it's just me with Ralph Lauren Polo fragrances because I love Ralph Lauren Polo. Always have. I come from the era with the rise of the Ralph Lauren Polo. You got your polo shirt with the different color polo horse, and you match your hat and your shoes. I still do that. I'll never not do that. I am a product of my generation and my area where I grew up, and I'm still into the same things. I still match everything. You notice the blues matching with the hat. That's this era. That's this era. I was a young man when this came out. I'm not that young of a man anymore. I'm middle-aged. I'm 39, but I'm still the same guy. This fragrance, iconic stuff. I'm glad to add it. It's making me feel all nostalgic for the early 2000s, even though it came out like I want to say around 2010's time. I'm about to see. We're going to pull these notes up.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
2013. So 2010s. I was right. But technically, that's 11 years ago. I was 28. I would consider 28 a very young man at that time. So 6.3 out of 10, 223 ratings. Kind of above middle of the road for most people. Fruity, sweet, synthetic, woody, fresh, cranberry. The main note here, red grapefruit, Italian citron, saffron, red sage, lavender, amber, redwoods, coffee berry. So, I would say, I've heard the Extreme is the ultimate. I missed the boat on that one. I would say a close second to match to that profile would indeed be, let's grab my Polo Red, shall we? Would be the Intense. If you've ever had an opportunity to smell this, you know this is special. This is long discontinued. This is such an enhanced take on this. You get a lot more coffee, a lot more cranberry, a lot less powder. It's richer, darker, and sweeter and stronger. It is a more intense take on this. And we'll get to that rating in a little bit. To me, this is the superiority of the DNA. This is the Eau de Parfum. You get a lot of ginger and citrus. You lose the cranberry and the coffee here, but still smells like Polo Red. This is a wildly versatile take. You don't get all the powder. This is the most wearable year-round, if you want it to be, of the bunch. And then you have the most modern, the Parfum. So this has an absinthe note with a little bit of iris. You get a little bit of a tie into the DNA. It doesn't smell all that much like Polo Red. Like, I would say it's like 50% of Polo Red's profile. Even though the notes aren't the same, you kind of smell like, okay, it's Polo Red. Okay, maybe not completely. That's kind of how I've always felt. Not a super floral, heavily powdered iris note, but it's there. It offers this flowery nuance to it. The absinthe gives this slight boozy, limey type of feel. It's citrus fruity. It's a little on the sweet, woodsy side, a touch of florals. It's a little soapy. It's a good fragrance. It's the least like the bunch, though. And honestly, this is the best of the bunch. But with that said, just a little quick history lesson on the 4 that I have, which, like I said, I have an older decant batch of this. I don't think it's spectacular. I think it's far from the best in its own line, but it is the original, and the original deserves some respect put on its name. And for that, they're saying 6.3. I'm saying 7. I think it's very good. It's a very good fragrance. It's a great fragrance for a young man that wants to step his game up a little bit and get that special fragrance that he could rock on a regular basis, maybe going out, going to dinners, do whatever the young fellas are doing with the ladies these days, because going to the mall and the movies ain't really a thing no more. You know what I mean? For the teenage guys. That's not really a thing. That died with my, the generation after me. That died. So whatever you fellas are doing now, the Top Golfs and the whatever shit y'all doing, this is a good fragrance for stuff like that. Fun night out is the point. Casual fun night out, nothing serious. Young man's kind of night out. That's where I think this fragrance will shine. 7 out of 10. Well, that's the 4 that I have in this haul. Again, if you want to check them out, there's links down below to Fragrance Buy where I did purchase these from. Appreciate you guys watching the video. Until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. Of these 4, what are you familiar with? What have you tried? What are you maybe interested in checking out? What's kind of like, those didn't sound interesting to me? All good. Let me know down in the comments. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of the 4 I picked up in this haul and you give them a spray now, you never know. There's always that chance you might thank me later. Have a good one, guys.